Jack and Ross from Cultaholic back once again, this time with a news bonanza of a day.
News bonanza in the spirit of NXT 2.0. Owen, please just spew all of the colour at the audience right now.
Yeah, let's do some headlines. First of all, Tommaso Ciampa is your new NXT champion. Also, a superstar has officially been moved to the Raw roster, and we have all the backstage reaction to a major happening on this week's Raw. And finally, plenty of backstage notes from the debut of NXT 2.0. Yes, it was the first edition of NXT 2.0 last night, Ross, and, well, the big news coming out of it is the result of the main event, of course.
That is the big news.
Not only, well, I don't know whether to talk about the changes to the match yet, or should we save that for later on, but
we might as well do the changes now.
Right, so I'm a bit confused still, because a lot of weird stuff happened. First of all, your favourite, LA Knight, he did double duty last night.
What an idiot. So NXT 2.0 comes on the air. We immediately see promos from the four men in the main event match itself. And then after LA Knight, who of course is the best superstar, the most charismatic superstar in professional wrestling since The Rock was around, he cuts his promo and then is confronted by a young whippersnapper.
Yeah.
And this young whippersnapper, this nameless young whippersnapper, he's not nameless, is he? What's his name?
Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
But
Breaker.
Breaker. It's Bronson Rechsteiner. It's the son of Rick Steiner.
The guy who was formerly called Rex Steiner, apparently, but they took that away. Which is weird because I've written down some notes here from his debut somewhere. His singlet was reminiscent of the Steiners from the early 90s.
Yes.
I'm sure that Vic said he had a dog-faced gremlin sort of mentality. We had the sirens in his entrance theme, so they're not scared to hark back to his sort of family past. But they just took that name away from him.
It's very strange.
A weird mode. Anyway, he confronts LA Knight, and LA Knight's right, you prove yourself, young lad. Let's go out there. First NXT 2.0 match. Let's have a wrestle. And the young whippersnapper just wins in double quick fashion. A couple of big shoulder tackles, a gorilla press into a Braun Strowman-esque power slam. Well, it's more like Goldberg. Goldberg did it back in the day, didn't he? Gorilla press, the old power slam. 1, 2, 3. LA Knight is lost.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, when this happened, I thought, will this mean that LA Knight's going to win? Because we've seen the likes of Bret Hart do that before. Seth Rollins lose earlier in the night and then win later on. That's not what happened at all. Tommaso Ciampa won, but he didn't defeat LA Knight, Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly. He defeated LA Knight, Pete Dunne and Von Wagner.
Von Wagner.
Yeah.
Von Wagner, who is 6'5" and a big beefy boy. Kyle O'Reilly was wiped out by Peter Dunne, as he would call way back in Undisputed Era days, and of course Ridge Holland in the locker room. This would allow Wagner from the X Factor to jump in there and take the vacant spot. And he was good.
Oh, fair enough. I've not seen the match yet, but I heard that Ciampa won. He would have been maybe my third or last guess even to win this match.
I think he was the rank outsider just because of the semantics of a new NXT 2.0 and Ciampa being there for so long. But as for the match itself, it was just a showcase of why those four lads were really good. If you want to have a main thread of the match, I guess it was Ciampa versus Dunn, which could potentially be setting up a feud going forward. Although at the end of the night, Jack, as you'll read out in that final paragraph down there, we might be setting up something else. But we just had lots of showcase. LA Knight got split open for goodness sake. He had 2 finishes done to him. He took the fall for Ciampa to win. I think it's something like 909 days, I don't know, something mental like that, since Ciampa's held the big one in NXT.
I mean, I've got nothing against the decision. I think Ciampa's really good, obviously, and he doesn't just have great matches. He puts a lot of character work into it and all that sort of good stuff, but it was just a bit of a surprise to me. Yeah, we might know the identity of his first sort of feud going forwards. It could be Pete Dunne. It could also be everyone's new favourite, Braun Breaker, the Steiner lad from earlier.
You keep saying Breaker like the guy from the Muppets. I think it's Breaker.
Oh, you know what?
Bones.
You're absolutely right. It really confused me, that. Yeah, of course it's Breaker. Why would it be Breaker? Why have I said that?
He's related to Sheamus and that thing off the Muppets.
Yes. He congratulated Ciampa, but it was like a passive-aggressive congratulation.
Very reminiscent of Cena and Undertaker back in the old, respect was shown, but aggression shown as well.
It's the new NXT. We'll have more stories about it heading forwards, but that was the main headline coming out of the show. Tommaso Ciampa is the new champion. Speaking of new champions as well, Big E, of course, is the new WWE champion and cashed in and won the belt on Monday Night Raw. He has now officially been moved to the Raw roster, according to PW Insider.
Not a shock because, of course, the WWE title belongs to Monday Night Raw, so I guess this just makes sense. But we have more news from backstage on Monday Night Raw. Apparently, Big E's win for the title once again, according to PW Insider has seen a massive morale uplift backstage because everyone loves Big E.
That's fair enough. In fact, yeah, PW Insider reporting that many in the SmackDown locker room wish they could have been there to see the moment and congratulate him in person. From all the stories you hear about Big E and everything that all the other roster members say about him, seems like a lovely man.
Just no one has a bad word to say about him. And I tell you what, if you haven't already, go and listen to the New Day's most recent podcast, where after what happened to Daphne last week, they have a whole podcast about mental health and Big E's story especially. You just look at Big E, you paint yourself a picture of what he's like in his personal life. Yeah. But let me tell you, the stuff that guy's come through to be the sort of the charismatic joy giver that he is today is absolutely staggering to listen to. So if you haven't already, go and listen to that podcast, because admiration for Big E, he'll only get bigger and better. It's
absolutely fantastic. Lashley was also in for praise as well for putting Big E over so strong. There were even rumours that he may have been injured, but again, PW Insider say no, he's just that good at selling.
Yeah, I tell you what though, fair play to Bobby Lashley, because he made the WWE title feel massive once again during that reign. I thought he
really did. He did a good job. I was sceptical at first when he beat Drew and retained it at Mania. I thought, well, this is a weird last minute sort of switcheroo, but it's worked out really well for him, not for Drew.
Yeah, keeping him with MVP when they had that sort of bit where they were going to split up was the right decision. Bobby and MVP just work like chips and gravy.
Absolutely. Other things going on as well. Well, again, we're sticking with PW Insider, who had all the scoops, it seems, last night. They've said that the Capital Wrestling Center name will not be used in reference to the Performance Center on NXT programming. I never knew what to make of the Capital Wrestling Center name. I think it gave it a bit of a unique thing, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a nice sort of paying homage to wrestling of years ago, and I like the aesthetic of like the sort of the grungy sort of cages and hard badass, the hard ass stuff. The hard badass stuff. But I tell you what, in terms of production value, I know a lot of us were skeptical after seeing the new NXT logo and all the paint and whatnot, and thinking, oh, this is more like a kids program now. But I thought the aesthetic of last night's NXT, with the new Tron and the new sort of the crowd that wrapped its way all around the arena, the big logos on the wall, I thought the production was improved tenfold.
Oh, well, I'm going to disagree.
Oh, yeah?
That's all right.
Why?
I mean, I understand why.
No, we're not allowed to have different opinions.
I like the shape of the crowd. That was very true. I like the way it curved round. But I thought it was too brightly lit. A little bit, yeah.
I thought it just shone a lot of sunshine into my life. Now, I like the floating camera angle they did on the hard cam side. I think they did that back in the old sort of like when the initial brand split happened in 2016. They had the SmackDown. Remember that? They took it away for a bit, so it's nice to see that come back. I thought it added something different.
Well, fair enough. The new lads who turned up on the show weren't the only people who were unexpectedly in attendance at NXT as well, because everyone's favourite producer in WWE, Kevin Dunn, was there as well. Apparently, he was personally overseeing the USA Network broadcast, according to PW Insider. Now, apparently, everything will... This was the rumour we heard before the show. Everything's going to be referred to as NXT 2.0 on camera, but I don't think that quite happened, really.
I don't know. It was there right at the start.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on YouTube. I think I saw Mitch saying this morning. I've not checked the YouTube channel, so if that's incorrect information, I do apologise. But it does. It's just. I think it's necessary just to say to people, hey, it's a bit different now. You might have been turned off since AEW came about and all that stuff happened, and we've just got lots of new wrestlers now. Give it a chance. Why not? I thought it was a nice solid start last night.
Fair enough. I mean, the show's script apparently changed a lot of times over the course of the day, but that's nothing really new when it comes to the main roster. So I guess why would that change for NXT now that the main roster people are behind it? Triple H was understandably not there because of his recent health scare. Samoa Joe apparently was not there as well, as of an hour before the show really went on air. And the atmosphere was generally in the build-up described as weird by sources.
It must be just like seeing what you've known for so long being ripped up, and then something new happening with new faces who you've heard of, like Kevin Dunn, but I guess you haven't really interacted with before.
Maybe
backstage calling the shots. I guess it must have been weird for certain talents there last night.
Another big change that you've made...
This is the real signifier for a new era.
You've put this in as if it's a new story. Well, I guess it is a new story.
Right.
All right. Mandy Rose has brown hair now.
Whoa!
And you've put, as it really is, a new era.
It is a really new era.
Right.
She's got brown hair.
Yeah.
An entire segment was dedicated to Mandy Rose having brown hair.
Okay.
Do you want to run us through what happened in that segment?
Yes, I will. She's obviously got this alliance going on with Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. They defeated Saray, Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter because she ran down and interfered to stop the babyfaces from winning the initial...
TikTokers, by the way.
Yes, they are. That's their thing
They
now.
like TikTok.
Yes.
That's the new era of NXT.
Didn't Lana do this with a tag partner of hers? Was it
Natalia,
yeah.
Social media influencers.
Yeah.
New era, down with the kids.
So, Mandy Rose ran down and stopped the initial tag team match and then removed a hood that she was wearing to reveal that, yes, she has now got brown hair. NXT 2.0 is full throttle. William Regal made it a 6-woman tag team match, and then Mandy Rose got the win with her new hair. With a knee strike as well.
She looks staggering. She was doing suplexes. She was like the human suplex machine.
Oh!
The human suplex machine, Mandy Rose, is the new gimmick there.
Okay,
Brown hair. We have B-Fab also making a big in-ring debut last night. It wasn't too much to this match. It was sort of like just showcasing why she was good. I think she won with a neck breaker. I think I've just remembered that at the top of my head. I might be wrong there. I hope I'm not. I've watched NXT. I can't remember what happened. But she went up against Karina Cortez, who some fans might know as Catalina from those couple of appearances on Raw alongside Sin Cara back in the day.
Ah,
but not too far back in the day.
Is she the same Catalina who was the evil one on Lucha Underground, perhaps? I reckon so.
If that's the same one who appeared with Sin Cara, then yeah.
I can't quite remember, but I'll have to check because I feel like because I've interviewed her, so I feel like I should know if it is her. But yeah, no, B-Fab. I mean, this I haven't seen this match, but reading about it made me relieved that Hit Row are still very much a part of NXT's plans going forward. I was worried they'd be one of like the victims of this change because they're not the biggest apart from one of them.
I hope they never get moved from NXT because when they go to the main roster, the people who write that show, I don't think Bruce Pritchard will truly appreciate what makes Hit Row Hit Row.
No, he's not going to understand.
No.
Also, a match was announced for next week. It sounds like a really good one, actually, potentially. Kushida versus Roderick Strong for the Cruiserweight title. Feels like we've been building up to that match for a long time now.
Yeah, there was big news involving the Diamond Mine, which we'll get back to later on today in another news video where we take an in-depth look at all of the 6, yes, you heard that correctly, the 6 big debutantes from last night's NXT 2.0. One of them's involved in the Diamond Mine.
Yes, absolutely. And finally, you've done a bit of a recap of the wedding, which main evented the show over the title match, really.
Incredible.
Dexter Lumis' middle name is Gaylord. It's a joke from Meet the Fockers from nearly 20 years ago.
I went on a school trip to see Meet the Fockers. I don't know if we can say Meet the Fockers, but we've said it numerous times now. I hope the video doesn't get demonetised.
It was a long time. It was a long time ago. That
it was, about 20 years ago.
That's got Vince McMahon all over it. That.
Yeah.
Indy Hartwell as well. Ophelia Hartwell told a story about how Dexter Lumis crept into her bed one night and
Dexter put his hand over the microphone to signify that something dirty happened.
Johnny and Candice were freaking out. They were, whoa, what's going on here? And then nothing. The big news coming out of it really is that things almost went wrong and then were foiled and it all went off without a hitch, really.
Beth Phoenix got herself ordained as a minister, which is bit myself and Adam Pacheco in the arse before in a previous life with Kenny McIntyre. So that happens in real life, everybody. But yeah, Dexter Lumis said his first words on camera, I do. His vows while Indy poured her heart out and told that story there about the creeping into the bedroom incident. Dexter Lumis was merely... Good on you. Well done. It was just, I thought it was fantastic. William Regal, once again, even though he wasn't really involved at the forefront, he stole the show once again. I could just watch that man pull faces,
react to
for
stuff.
Hours. Fantastic.
So they're married now.
They are.
And that was the main event. They're a couple.
I'm worried about Indy, though, because as they were celebrating after getting married, as all married couples do, raising their hands like professional wrestlers in the air, Dexter brandished an axe in the inside of his jacket. So I hope that doesn't mean he's going to murder Indy Hartwell with an axe. We'll have to see, though. Tune in to NXT 2.0 next week to find out.
And tune in to Cultaholic later on today for more wrestling news as well, and leave your thoughts and opinions on any of these stories in that comment section down below. We'll see you very soon.